Today I want to talk about self-sabotage and why we do it and then what we can do to overcome it. And this is something that I think almost everyone struggles with at some point in their life. And I'm going to talk about self-sabotage in terms of weight loss, but you can be doing this in, sorry, I just need to set this camera up, in other areas of your life, right? Sometimes we sabotage relationships. Sometimes we sabotage our finances, we sabotage our business, right? You get so close to achieving a goal and then you sabotage yourself so that you don't achieve it. So why do we do this? And then what can we do to stop doing it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So self-sabotage is when you basically prevent yourself from achieving your goals. You get in your own way, okay? And it can be conscious or subconscious. So you might not be aware of it, but that's what I want to talk about today, okay? So again, I'm going to talk about it in terms of weight loss, but stop and think if you can see how maybe you do this in any other areas of your life, right? If you are sabotaging relationships, if you're sabotaging your success in other ways, okay? It happens for a lot of reasons. So first we're going to talk about why we do it, and then we're going to talk about how we can stop doing it, okay? So you guys know me, I like to jump right in after I take a sip of this tea. Okay, so whether you're watching this live or on the replay, you can let me know in the comments if you're watching live or on the replay, but I want to get some feedback on why you think you're doing it. So the number one reason that people self-sabotage is a lack of confidence or self-esteem. So if this is something you struggle with, put number 1 in the comments. You don't believe in yourself, right? So with your weight loss, right, you start out by saying like, got this, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm so excited, this is the answer, this is the time, I'm ready, right? And then by week 2, you're like, who the heck am I kidding? I can't do this. I always lose weight, but I just put it right back on, right? Give me a 1 if this has ever happened to you, right? It's like you lack that confidence in yourself that like, I can't do this, right? So let me know, number 1, if you do that, okay? And again, we're just gonna go through the reasons why we do it first, and then I'm gonna talk about how you can stop doing this. Number 2 is a fear of success or a fear of failure, right? People have both. We fear success and we fear failure, okay? Maybe you've held on to your weight for a really long time and you almost identify as, the overweight girl or the person who is always on a diet, right? I know that sounds silly, but really stop and think if you've ever done this, right? You're afraid of success. Like, who am I if I'm not this girl who has to lose weight, or if I'm not this girl who's always dieting, okay? Or you're afraid of failing, right? It's like, why bother? I'm not going to succeed. So it's like you give up before you even try because you're so afraid you're going to fail that it's like, I'll just quit before I try. So give me number 2 if you've struggled with either of these, a fear of success or a fear of failure, okay? The reality is the only way to succeed is to fail, right? So the people who succeed, they're not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who just failed over and over and over and over again and kept going. They didn't give up, right? So I always tell this to my kids. If you're a parent, you know this, right? Like, nobody likes to fail. And I see this with my children. Like, they don't want to do things that they're going to fail at. And I'm like, well, you're going to fail. Like, sorry, it's a reality. And they don't want to. They want to avoid it. And I'm like, you couldn't walk or talk, right? But think about a kid when they start walking. They fail over and over and over. They take 1 step, they fall down, they fall down, they fall. Like, they take 3 steps, they take 11 steps. Until now, like, you walk, you don't even think about it, right? But this is what, this goes to show, right? These are learned behaviors, right? Kids don't have this fear of failing. Like, I mean, maybe they're a little afraid of falling, but like, they just keep getting up and keep doing it. And then they succeed at walking. And that's how we have to get away from that. Like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to fail at it that I don't want to try. And realize you will fail. I'm telling you right now, you're going to fail. But it's getting back up and doing it again. And if you're a parent, you're telling your kids this all the time. So it's a really big thing for me. Like, if I'm going to sit here and tell my kids you have to try stuff and realize you're going to fail, but you still have to get back up, I better do it. I have to show them myself doing it, right? So think about that if you're a mom. So give me a number 2 if that's one of the things you think might be sabotaging your success, is fear of failure or fear of success. Number 3, a third reason why we self-sabotage is habits, right? It's just become your habit. It's a pattern. You do it where you go on a diet, you go off a diet. You start a diet, you stop a diet, right? But here's the best thing about habits. They're learned behaviors. So anything that's learned can be unlearned. Okay? They're not ingrained in you. You can change your habits. So you've got to change the habits. And again, we're going to talk about some things you can do to change those habits. A fourth reason, so give me a 3, sorry, if you think it's habit. Like, it's just habit. Like, it's what I've been doing for so long. So that's why I think I self-sabotage. Put a 3 in the comments. A fourth reason that people self-sabotage is perfectionism. Everything has to be just perfect, right? And if it's not perfect, it's like the world falls apart. It prevents you from trying and succeeding because you've set this impossibly high standard, right? And it's that all or nothing mentality. And we're going to talk about this and how to overcome it, but where you have to be perfect with your eating. And the minute you're not, it's like, oh, it's over. Throw in the towel, I quit. Like you have one bite of pizza and like the whole thing is over. Give me a number 4 if you've ever struggled with this, right? Where it's like, I'm gonna eat perfect. I'm gonna have my green smoothie for breakfast and I'm gonna have my salad for lunch and I'm gonna have my fish and broccoli for dinner. And the minute you veer off of that, it's like, I blew it. I wasn't perfect. And so I might as well just completely give up. Give me a 4 if you've ever struggled in some capacity with this perfectionist mentality. And a 5th reason why we self-sabotage is emotional. You're using food as a coping mechanism for your emotions, okay? And here's the thing, right? Whatever emotions are driving you to eat, boredom, stress, anxiety, happiness, depression, any of them, right? The outcome's the same. Your feelings don't go away. Maybe they go away for a minute or 2 while you're eating, but they always come back because unless you deal with the emotions you're feeling, they're not just gonna go away. A cookie doesn't make depression go away. A cookie doesn't make anxiety go away. It makes it worse. Because what happens is the emotions come back, right? Because they're always going to come back unless you deal with them. And now you've got guilt on top of it. Because it's like, I'm still stressed, I'm still anxious, and I ate all this junk food that I wasn't supposed to eat, or I didn't want to eat, or I didn't plan on eating, and now I feel like crap because of that too. It makes things worse, okay? So give me a 5 if it's emotions that are keeping you from this, right? Like you're an emotional eater, and so that's how you're self-sabotaging, okay? And the last reason, number 6, put a 6 in the comment if this is it, is your pleasure and pain association, okay? And I'm gonna talk more about this, but it's human nature to move away from pain and toward pleasure. So you might be viewing weight loss or dieting as painful, and you want to move away from that, right? And eating ice cream is pleasurable. You want to move towards that. So that's how you could be self-sabotaging, is that your pain and pleasure associations need to be altered. So give me a 6 if this is one of your issues, okay? And I'll talk more about it if you don't quite understand that. But okay, so put a 1 in the comments if it's lack of confidence or low self-esteem. 2 is fear of success and failure. 3 is it's just become a habit. 4 is you have a perfectionist mentality, and it's like all or nothing. If I can't be perfect, I don't want to play at all. 5 is emotional, and 6 is your pain and pleasure association, all right? So put those in the comments just so I can see which one you might be struggling with. All right, so now let's talk about what you can do to change this, because you can change this. You can stop self-sabotaging, and a lot of times it has become a habit and it's become part of your pattern, but you can undo that. All right, so let's talk about some tips to stop self-sabotaging. Number 1, you have to become aware that you're even doing this, right? Sometimes we're walking around in a fog. We're not even aware of what we're thinking, what we're doing. So the step 1 is to become aware that you're even doing it. And one of the best ways that I've learned to stop doing this is keeping a food journal. And I don't mean, write down what you ate. I want you to write down how you're feeling as well in this journal, okay? Guys, this is a 99-cent journal you can pick up at the grocery store and a pen or a piece of paper, okay? But I want you to think about how are you feeling when you're eating food? Are you stressed? Are you anxious? Are you happy, okay? If you keep this journal for a good 2 weeks, you're gonna start seeing patterns, okay? And I don't want you to use the journal to stop you from eating, right? That's usually why we journal, when we're trying to lose weight, is it makes you aware and makes you stop and pause before you eat. But I really want you to focus on the emotions and how you're feeling when you're eating with this journal, okay? Because you want to find habits and patterns and feelings of why you're choosing this food, okay? And you'll realize, like, God, it's just a habit. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't bored. It was just habit. Maybe it's like whenever I'm stressed and anxious, just pay attention and use the journal because you're going to see patterns, all right? So do that first, is to become aware. How am I self-sabotaging? Number 2 is you need a habit interruption. Because like I said, for most people, this has become a habit, right? So for example, maybe you just eat after dinner every night and you don't even realize it. The thing with these habits, we don't even realize we're doing it, right? So that was step 1, it's gonna make you aware, but then how do you stop that habit, right? I know a lot of people, will come home from work and just like raid the pantry or grab snacks or grab chips. It's like, whether it's a stress relief from after work, it's like, I'm finally done, or you're starving because you haven't eaten, or you just eat after dinner. It's become a habit. You just sit there with a bag of chips and you eat it and you don't even think about it, okay? So you gotta stop that habit. So first was to become aware, and that's where the journal is. But the second is to interrupt the habit, okay? And you need new habits to replace those habits. So the first thing you need to do is delay the gratification, right? Because a lot of times if you wait 15 minutes, you realize you don't even want it, right? And this can be hard for women to delay gratification because I feel like we do it in so many areas of our lives. We delay our own personal gratification because we're so busy taking care of everyone else. It's like, I'm gonna take care of the kids and not take care of me. I'm gonna do all the housework before I'm allowed to sit down and watch TV. I'm gonna take care of my husband before I take care of me. I'm gonna feed everybody else their meal before I feed me. Right? Let me know if you can relate to this, where it's like we take care of everyone. We put everyone before ourselves so many times that when it comes to like that food, I don't want delayed gratification. I just want to eat it, right? But we need to pause and take a good 15 minutes and realize, do I want this? Because again, it's just become habit and you're putting food in your mouth and you didn't even necessarily want it, right? You just did it because it's habit. So we've got to interrupt that habit and stop it. So instead of just giving in and eating after dinner, stop and pause. Take 15 minutes, okay? Or instead of eating as soon as you leave work, or instead of, snacking as soon as you get home, stop and pause. Do I want this? Take 15 minutes, call a friend. Take 15 minutes and journal. Read a book. Take a shower. Take a bath. Go for a walk. Whatever you can do to just interrupt that habit for 15 minutes. You might still eat the food, but stop and pause and interrupt it first to make you aware of, do I want this or not, okay? And a great example, I know I do this all the time, is online shopping. Excuse me. If I'm feeling, I'm gonna take some tea. If you're feeling impulsive, sometimes you just go online, you shop, and that's it, like sold. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a lot of stuff in my shopping cart online, and then I'll walk away and I'll come back the next day and I'm like, yeah, do I really want that? Guys, by the end of the week, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to buy any of it, right? Because I stopped and paused and was like, do I want this? Do I need this, right? Now, sometimes I do still buy it. I buy all of it. Sometimes I buy 1 or 2 things, but it's that pause that makes you stop and think, do I want this, right? So I'm sure some of you, let me know, type online shop if you've done this, where it like, you start out, I might have $500 worth of clothes in my shopping cart. By the end of the week, I'm like, I don't need any of this, and I don't spend $1. But if I was being impulsive, I'm gonna buy everything. And it could be the same with food. If you just take 15 minutes and pause and step back, like I said, take a shower, go for a walk, call a friend, journal, read a book, whatever you have to do, you might find you don't want it, right? 9 out of 10 times you probably will. So you've gotta interrupt that habit. Take that 15 minutes, okay? All right. Number 3, you have to change that pain and pleasure associations, right? We just talked about this. So humans are programmed to move away from pain and toward pleasure. So in order to achieve success with weight loss, you have to view weight loss as pleasure and overeating as pain, right? So that you move away from the pain of overeating and toward the pleasure of weight loss, right? But again, sometimes we associate weight loss with pain, right? So let's say you like to have ice cream every night after dinner. And it's pleasurable, you love it. You sit in front of the TV and you have your ice cream and you enjoy it. But you want to lose weight. and you say, you know what, I'm gonna stop eating that ice cream, right? And you feel good at first, but then what happens, it's like the weekend and you're like, God, the week is over and I really want this ice cream. And now you start to say, it feels painful for you to not have that ice cream, right? And again, we are more programmed to move away from pain and toward pleasure, okay? So you view weight loss and losing weight and being in shape as pleasurable, but you view saying no to the ice cream and the chips and the snacks as painful. So what are you gonna do, right? Again, you're gonna move away from the pain and toward the pleasure. So your natural instinct to avoid the pain of missing out on ice cream is, I'll just start over tomorrow. Let me know if this has happened to you, right? Where it's like, you start out where I'm not gonna eat ice cream because I'm really motivated and I'm focused and I wanna lose these few pounds, so I'm not gonna eat ice cream at night. But then comes the day where it's like, I don't wanna skip out on the ice cream. I really want the ice cream and it feels painful. And you're like, I know, I'll start tomorrow. This is a self-sabotaging behavior. And it's because our association with pain and pleasure has to change. So what you have to do is you have to make it pleasurable to say no to ice cream and painful to not achieve your weight loss goals, okay? So saying no to ice cream and chips and foods when you aren't even physically hungry, that should feel pleasurable. Like, I feel good about myself. I'm not hungry. I don't want it. I don't need it. And I feel like crap after I eat it. So that's a pleasurable thing, right? And you've got to rewire your brain to change your association with weight loss, okay? So losing weight, having more energy, fitting into my clothes, feeling more confident, feeling better about myself, that is pleasurable. And not eating food when I'm not hungry, when I don't want it, when I don't need it, when it's not good for me and I'm gonna feel like crap after I eat it, that's pleasurable. Change that association. Know that not achieving your weight loss goals, that's painful, right? So you've really gotta rewire your brain to move away from the pain of not succeeding and toward the pleasure of succeeding, okay? I hope that made sense. Let me know if you need clarification with that. Okay, a fourth thing you can do to overcome the self-sabotage is work on your negative thought patterns, okay, and your negative self-talk. And guys, this is a huge one and I see it all the time. I call these the stories you tell yourself because they're stories. You've made them up. They're not true, okay? So an example would be, I can't lose weight. Other people have done that diet and they've lost weight, but it doesn't work for me, okay? Or let's see, the minute I eat carbs, I gain weight. I turned 50, can't lose anything. It just is, once you turn 50, I can't lose weight. Or I always lose weight, but I gain it back. Let me know if you've ever said any of these. These are stories you are telling yourselves and they are lies. They're not true. You can lose weight after 50. You can lose weight and keep it off. You're just telling yourself you can't. And you need to change that story you're telling yourself. Here's the thing. Your thoughts become your feelings, and your feelings become your actions. You control this, okay? The only thing you don't control is the circumstances around you, but you control your thoughts in relation to those circumstances. And then your thoughts control how you feel, and how you feel controls the actions you take. So think about this. If your thought is, I can't lose weight, what feeling do you think you're gonna have with that? I can't lose weight. How are you gonna feel? I think you'd feel defeated, right? I think you'd feel worthlessness, self-defeat, right? So now what action do you think you're gonna take? If you feel defeated, what action are you gonna take? Probably none. Do you think you're gonna jump on a weight loss program or start an exercise program? No, you've already told yourself, I can't succeed. Why would you do it? So you gotta change your thoughts and you control that, okay? So instead of saying, I can't lose weight, why not me? I can lose weight. If I cut my calories, I will lose weight. If I take in less calories than I burn, I will lose weight. It doesn't matter what age I am, I can always lose weight. Guys, you can always lose weight, okay? It's a horrible example, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Look at an anorexic. Your body can get anywhere, okay? I mean, that's a horrible, horrible disease and you don't ever want to go anywhere near that. But that's just an example where people are like, you can lose weight, always, right? You just have to do what it takes to get there. But you got to change those thoughts because the minute you're telling yourself, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight, guess what? You're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel like, I can't. You're convincing yourself you can't, so you're not going to take the action that it takes to get there. You got to change those thoughts, and you control that, okay? Stop telling yourself you can't. We can do anything, right? There are people like who are so successful in business, who have the greatest relationships in the world, who are in the greatest physical shape of their lives. Like, if they can do it, so can you. Why not you? Right? A lot of you know I was in network marketing, and that was the biggest shift for me. I told myself every single reason why I couldn't succeed in it. I don't have enough, friends. I don't have a big enough network. I'm not a salesperson. Other people can do it, but not me. And my entire business changed the minute I said, if they can do it, why not me? And it's the same with your weight loss. Stop telling yourself why you can't do it and say, why not me? You can do it. You just have to change those thoughts. And it starts by changing what you tell yourself. Change your thoughts. So change how you speak to yourself. For every negative, right? Write them down. Write down all the negative crap you're telling yourself about why you can't lose weight and turn it into a positive. I can't lose weight because I turned 50. I can lose weight at any age. I don't know, I lose weight and I gain it back. I can lose weight and keep it off for the rest of my life. Whatever it is, change that negative into a positive and then repeat it every single day. Write them down. Put them on your mirror. Put them in your phone. Set an alarm for yourself. Like, remind yourself every single day. Change the negative thought into a positive. It will change everything in your life. Stop saying why you can't do it, because you can. Okay? Excuse me. And then number 5 is you've got to stop trying to be perfect. And I know this is easier said than done. This is something I've always struggled with. And I talked about this a little before. It's like where you have this mindset that it's like, okay, I'm going to eat great. I'm going to have my egg whites for breakfast, and I'm going to have my salad for lunch, and I'm going to have a protein shake for a snack, and I'm going to have fish and vegetables for dinner, and it's going to be great. And the minute you eat something that you consider, quote, bad, you feel like you blew it. You throw in the towel, and it's like, I give up. If you can't be perfect, you want to be nothing at all. Let me know if this is something you struggle with. You've got to change your mindset around food. You've got to stop looking in terms of good and bad and all or nothing. Food is not good or bad. Food is neutral. It's food. It's molecules, right? That literally nourish our body. That is it. And some foods have more nourishment and some have less, but they're not good or bad, and there's room for all of them. Okay? But what happens is, and guys, this was something I struggled with the most. The minute I would eat one cookie, I was like, I blew it. Might as well just eat the whole pack of cookies and I'll start over tomorrow, right? And when I realized, I ate one cookie, that was delicious. It's 100 calories and that's it. It's not making any difference in my diet. It takes 3,500 calories above your maintenance level. Guys, you're looking at about 5,000 calories in a day to gain 1 pound. 1 pound. So if you weigh yourself after eating pizza or something like that, it's probably because you're retaining water. You're bloated. Your body's holding on to the water. Okay? You're not gaining a pound overnight. Just like if you do have that, quote, perfect day, you didn't lose a pound overnight. You're not losing a pound. You're not 5,000 calories in a deficit from one healthy day of eating. So why do you think that one day of eating off track is blowing everything? Or one meal or one food? Stop and accept it for what it is. It was a cookie. That's it. It was a gosh darn cookie, and it was delicious, and I enjoyed it, and that is it. Okay? So a good way to overcome this is to plan it in. Stop trying to be perfect and say, you know what? I'm going to have an ice cream bar before bed, or I'm going to have a cookie in the afternoon, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to savor every bite, and I'm not going to feel an ounce of guilt over it because it fits into my food plan. Okay? It's not about being perfect. Progress, not perfection. And when you allow these foods in, sometimes you're not going to want them as much, right? Because a lot of times the reason you want it is because you're telling yourself you can't have it, so you want it more. But plan them in, because then you might not want it. Or if you do have it, you're like, yep, that was part of my meal plan. I'm allowed to have that. I can have that piece of chocolate or that cookie. And then don't set yourself up for failure. Don't buy a packet of Oreos and expect yourself to eat 1 or 2, right? Buy things that are pre-portioned. That's why I love the ice cream bars. They're pre-portioned. You're less likely to have, 3 ice cream bars than you are a heaping bowl of ice cream, okay? Have something that's really satisfying so that when you do have it, you're like, yep, that was exactly what I needed, right? Sometimes I'll have some dark chocolate because it's so rich that once I have it, I'm like, I don't need more. Whereas if I eat something like milk chocolate, it doesn't satisfy me as much. I'm like, nope, I need more. I need richer. That's just me. So what really satisfies you? And allow it. Make it part of your meal plan so then you don't feel the need to go off the rails. Okay? It's not about being perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. And what you have to remember is if you eat better today than you did yesterday, that's progress. If you normally eat 3 slices of pizza and you eat 2, that's progress. If you normally have 3 glasses of wine and you have 2, that's progress, and you will see results. All right, so focus on progress, not perfection. All right? So I hope this was helpful. Let me know how I can help. Here's the thing, guys. This is where a nutrition or weight loss coach is helpful. This is what I help my clients with, right? Yes, I can give you a meal plan and show you exactly what to eat to have the exact number of calories, the right percentage of protein, fats, carbohydrates, so you can reach your goals. But that's the math, and that's the easy part, right? And a lot of times what I find is you know what you need to do, right? I think sometimes people don't know what to do because there's so much confusion. It's like there is so much misinformation out there. You don't know what to do, but a lot of times you do know what to do, but you're not doing it. And this is where a coach comes in. It's stopping those self-sabotaging behaviors. It's helping you to pause and stop and think and reevaluate and get back on track when you fall off, okay? So if you have not already set up a free weight loss consultation, message me or put it in the comments and we'll set it up. It's a free weight loss strategy call. I guarantee you will leave this call with information that will help you on your weight loss journey. It's no pressure. I'm not gonna try to sell you, I promise. Let me help you on your weight loss journey. So either private message me or just put call in the comments and we'll set up a free weight loss strategy call, help you on your way to lose weight, because you might know what to do, but why aren't you doing it? Why are you self-sabotaging? Okay, so let's get to the root of that. All right, I hope this helped. Reach out, let me know how I can help you. Have a great weekend, guys.